That mystery illness, the one that you can't seem to figure out, likely related to stress and subconscious emotional trauma. This probably isn't necessarily news to you, but it may not translate from the symptoms you're experiencing to, oh, that's because I'm constantly in a state of fight, flight, or constantly in stress. And then what do we do about it? You've got this situation where you're aware of something. Maybe it was brand new knowledge to you, and you go, oh, I didn't even have any idea that it had anything to do with my chronic stress at work or my chronic stress at home or chronic stress from childhood, from a dysregulated parent, a dysregulated spouse, dysregulated child, even your own dysregulation, your own inability to calm yourself down. We are in a modern world that teaches us to be in fear, in chronic stress, to be going all the time, to be seeking perfection and people pleasing, to worry about everything that's going on, and not about how to calm down, how to find some calm and some peace within ourselves, to get present and feel and know our safety, and then create safety within our own world and our environment, and be powerful to set and enforce our own boundaries. So that's what I want to talk about today, is this linkage and what I've done about it, and what I'm going to share with you that I've done about it, and how it can be so helpful and beneficial for you in terms of getting back to a place of peace, calm, and powerful. Now, some people, many of the clients that I work with, have never actually been calm in their lives. They can speak back to childhood where things happened to them. They had an abusive parent, a problematic relationship, fighting in their family, siblings that were seriously problematic. And there was no opportunity to learn how to feel safe in your environment, to feel safe in your own body, to calm down your nervous system. And then we often choose to replicate that experience into our adulthood. So we replicate that experience within our work situations, our partner situations, how we interact with our children, because we don't know any different, that creates stress and trauma between parent and child. So we accidentally perpetuate this long, drawn out, ongoing issue that if we knew how to calm ourselves down, if we knew how to get peaceful and present, if we knew how to deal with the subconscious emotional trauma and the beliefs and the people, even in our current situation, we wouldn't have all of this creating so much continued trauma, like in a chronic state of fight flight. The challenge is, there's so many elements of this that I could go on for hours. I really don't want to go on for hours here, because that's part of what I put in the stress rescue program, is some of why, some of how it impacts you, and what to do about it. That's the techniques and the practices. So I don't want to go deep into all of this, but understand that there is a biochemical cascade that happens with cortisol and adrenaline, epinephrine, norepinephrine. It impacts our serotonin, our hormone balance in relation to sex and reproductive hormones. It impacts all of those and more. It has an impact, a negative impact on our mood. It can create depression. It can create anxiety, this stacking on of fears that are never, ever resolved or don't ever go away, becomes anxiety. It's like I'm going to throw a whole bunch of unhappy cats in a box, and then I'm going to lock that box, and this is what's going on, is this constant fear and anxiety, because we never really let the cats out. And no fault of your own, you don't know what to do, because society teaches us how to be stressed out, but not how to calm down. That's what I'm here for. That's what this is about. That's what stress rescue is about, is to help you rescue yourself from this chronic state of stress. Now, I experienced significant improvement in my physical health once I learned these practices and I put them into place. Now, I took 5 years to learn this. I did workshops, I did retreats, I did all kinds of seminars, webinars, books, blah, 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 blah. I did so much stuff. That's why it took me so many years to actually get to this point, but it doesn't have to take you that long. You can do it in a matter of months, a year or less, really, and sometimes not even that long, because oftentimes when you learn these practices and you do it regularly, what normally would rile you up and reactivate that stress doesn't rile you up anymore. You don't reactivate stress. So it's not this anymore. It's the little blips, or no blips at all. I'm good. I'm even keel. That's the beauty and the power of learning these practices, of getting yourself to a core of peace, of being present in your life, and getting this power within yourself to choose peace and set and hold boundaries. So the first segment of stress rescue is body. So we're going to deal with the physical symptoms of stress and what to do about some of those. I chose the simplest, easiest to implement practices. I chose the ones that you can do anywhere. You have a boss yelling at you, you can do these practices. You have a spouse or a partner comes home and is, you can do these practices. You can do them anywhere, anytime. That's really what one thing that I thought was very important was that this be something you can use anytime. Okay. Confidence to deal with or not deal with stressful people or situations. I think we often feel like we need to argue our point, fight on our own behalf, win the argument. But there are choices to be made that honor you, that honor your desire to be at a core of peace. And I will show you how to link those in with boundaries that you establish and enforce that allow you to be confident, to have really to know your worth and know that you don't have to argue with these people. You don't owe them anything. That's a chunk of segment 2, is being able to stand in your own power and to stay present and peaceful. To avoid, eliminate, move away from repeated stress from this lack of confidence and the fact that we don't enforce boundaries. You may know your boundaries, you may not know your boundaries. We're going to work on that in stress rescue. We're going to work on both in stress rescue. I think I knew some of my boundaries, but I did not know anywhere near all of them. I had to explore what those boundaries were and decide what was best for me, and then gain the confidence to enforce it. We'll practice all of that in stress rescue. We will deal with the subconscious emotional trauma, which is 90% not available to you consciously. It's these emotions that are attached to memories and experiences. And when I say memories, your physical body remembers, even if you don't cognitively remember. You probably know that trauma survivors suppress memory, that they oftentimes don't remember facts or events or details of situations. Sometimes they might remember a flash or know that it happened, but that's it. That's all they remember, because there's so much emotion attached to that memory that as a safety mechanism, their conscious memory shut it down and said, we're not going to let you we're not going to let you know this consciously because you can't deal with the emotion that's in there. Now, we're not going to dive into the deepest depths of the results of abuse and neglect. We are going to begin to work through the emotions that are closer to the surface and easier to deal with. We're going to begin to deal with fear. We're going to deal directly with disappointment or sadness or grief. And I'm going to teach you some very simple practices that you can use on your own when those emotions are coming and starting to take you over. You can move into these practices so you don't get overtaken and driven right back into your stress position, fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Okay. We're also going to talk about messy energy. We're going to talk about the fact that when you're dealing with a dysregulated someone in your life, a parent, a spouse, a grandparent, a sibling, whatever it is, we then become highly sensitive deep down inside of ourselves to their moods so that we can hopefully avoid being impacted by what they've got going on. Okay. So we'll develop a highly sensitive tuning to that. Empathy is another word for it. We'll become empathic. Well, in doing so, we actually become empathic to everyone's moods, and we can get very overwhelmed by what's going on in the world. We end up really pulling away and out of our lives and maybe even hermiting because it's too difficult to deal with everybody else's emotions on top of your own. So I'm going to teach you some really basic practices to begin to reestablish your confidence and your strength and clear that out. We will also, those same practices help with clearing when you've had repeated violations of your energetic boundaries. People that have just come into your energetic field or your physical space, and repeatedly did so. We're going to deal with the Swiss cheese of your biofield, also known as the aura or the energy field. And we're going to deal with carrying around negative energy beliefs and emotions from an energetic standpoint. Now, Stress Rescue, this program is a really basic foundational structure in order to get you to the point where you're at a calmer space, and then you can begin to resolve and reprogram and uncover, unpack, excavate. That's one of my favorite words. The other elements that are needed for you to remove and take power back from in order for you to achieve the best life that you want, the happiest, most peaceful, passionate, loving, joyful life that you want. From personal experience, for me to get to this place, these practices that I'm going to teach you are 50% of how I got rid of or got away from or eliminated the core drivers of stress for me. The low self-esteem, the lack of boundaries, the fact that people would violate the boundaries I never gave them because I didn't know that you teach people how to treat you. It's my responsibility to manage my energy field. It's your responsibility to manage your energy field. No one makes you mad. That is one big piece of this, is personal responsibility. But you also then have to adopt the idea that you teach people how to treat you. That can mean many different things. It can mean if you set your boundaries and someone repeatedly breaks those boundaries, that is not a relationship for you long term. You need to find a different place to be. If you set those boundaries and someone begins to improve and you set another boundary and they improve some more, you may bump along the way, but you may decide that that's a relationship that's improving and you can grow together. And you can heal together, and that would be wonderful. You may decide that you need to do this solo. And I don't mean I don't mean the healing process solo, meaning you need enough space in your day and your time where another person's emotional energy is not continuing to throw you off the track. None of that needs to be decided today. The decision for today, though, is I'm tired of being stressed out. I'm tired of having this mystery illness. I'm tired of people violating my boundaries and being rude and disrespectful. I am tired of being walked on. I'm tired of being overwhelmed and exhausted and people pleasing. I'm ready to begin the process of freeing myself from this. Now, what I did, because this process, I can throw a workbook at you. I have an 80-page workbook that you're going to get as part of this program. The workbook alone is incredible, but I can tell you that when you're in chronic fight flight, when you're stressed and it's very hard to process anything else, you're feeling overwhelmed already, it's going to be very difficult for you to navigate through 80 pages of this learning and the practices. Not that you can't do it, you can. I know from personal experience that doing makes all the change happen. Doing makes it real. Doing makes it almost non-negotiable then. I felt really good when I finished that session. I'm going to keep doing this. So I'm adding a workshop to it. Now, if you're hearing this, this is like January 13th, 2025. February 1st and February 8th are the next upcoming workshops. I will schedule 2 workshops a month. They're 4 hours long. And the idea is that you get your workbook, you begin the process of calming your body. That workbook is for you to do. We're going to come into the workshop and we're just going to do the practices. So this is a bit of accountability. It's hand holding, and then I'm going to answer your questions that are going to come up along the way. I'm only letting 9 people in each workshop. There's a reason for that. You getting to where you want to go is so important to me. And I know it's really important to you, that I didn't want to pack a bunch of people in a room so that if you have a question, you had to try to fight your way to the front of the crowd. I didn't want to have you do that, because this is too important. This is absolutely critical. So what I'm doing instead is there's only 9 people allowed in the workshop. Just 9 people. We will be able to get to your needs along with the needs of other people. And you will find that you're not alone, that there are so many people on this path. There's never been a better time. I mean, honest to goodness, there's so many good reasons to do this, to feel good, to uplift yourself, to get your physical healing in order, to have amazing relationships, to find work that you love, to just enjoy every day, to look at no matter what the weather is, gray clouds, rain, you go, oh, water in the plants. Cool. I don't mind a little hibernation. Bright, sunshiny day. Let's go out and let's have some fun and let's play among the trees. Each day has its silver lining. Each day has its reasons and its positivity, and each event of our lives has a benefit for us. So we won't get into all that today. I just want to share this with you because you're ready. I know you are. What you need to do next is you need to hop onto Facebook, or click the links down in here, buy your spot into the 2 sessions. Like I said, there's only 2 sessions, 9 people. That's 18 total. This will go fast. Don't wait. It's only $127. I said I got to make this affordable and accessible to people because you deserve it. You deserve it. All right. So now your next step is to click the link down below and get your spot. If you go to the website and it says it's not working, you need to message me and get on the wait list for the next round. Once I get the next 9 people on the wait list, I will do another workshop. So you may not have to wait till March. If I get 27 people, I'll throw a 3rd workshop in February. So make sure you get in quickly, because I'm not kidding when I say I'm not going to go over 9. That's a boundary I'm setting. And it's important that this happen this way. All right. I've rambled on long enough. Go click the link and get your spot. And then message me and be like, I'm in. And I'll send you all the stuff you need. We'll see you soon.